This video is sponsored by Surfshark. Stick around to find out more about protecting your online privacy. Ridley Scott's recent forays back into the Alien universe have been a little odd, right? The announcement of Prometheus actually had me pretty excited, and while the movie certainly has its flaws, it was a film I was still intrigued by. I loved the At the Mountains of Madness style setup, the ideas being hinted at, Michael Fassbender's David, and the movie was also wall-to-wall eye candy from start to finish. While the overall reception was a bit mixed, I was still pretty keen on seeing what adventures David and Elizabeth Shaw would embark on. Then it seems like 20th Century Fox got cold feet, and rather than an ongoing series merely set in the same universe as Alien, we got a full-on Alien Origins movie in Alien Covenant. I know this movie also has its fans, but honestly I feel like the least interesting thing in the movie is the alien itself. I've always had this feeling Ridley Scott made another Alien movie out of obligation due to Prometheus' reception, but he's clearly far more interested in ideas surrounding artificial intelligence, faith, religion, science, and the grand existential questions of human existence and the larger universe. If only there was a project he could lend his talents to where these ideas could be fully explored without being weighed down by the tired tropes of a franchise audiences stopped caring about years ago. Well, it turns out there is. It's called Raised by Wolves, it's on HBO Max, and it's brilliant. Created by Aaron Guzikowski, who was later joined by Ridley Scott, the story follows two androids, mother and father, who attempt to raise a group of children in a new world after Earth was destroyed in a war between atheistic technocrats and religious fundamentalists. I remember when Raised by Wolves was first announced, and I was immediately captivated by its unnerving trailer. But after the show finally premiered, it seems like it dropped off a lot of people's radar, so I decided to make this video in order to sing the show's praises and perhaps entice some new viewers, because currently for a lot of people, Raised by Wolves is the best sci-fi show they aren't watching. But first, ad time. This video is kindly sponsored by Surfshark. As someone who spends a lot of his time on the internet, I tend to take my online privacy and data protection very seriously. This is why I'd highly recommend Surfshark, a VPN which keeps your identity and any sensitive data safe by encrypting all the information sent between your device and the internet. Surfshark's clean web feature ensures no intrusive ads, trackers, malware, or phishing attempts are possible. Key to this process is the ability to change your virtual location, helping mask your IP address. This also comes with the added benefit of switching countries so you can enjoy hidden content on your favourite streaming services. For example, HBO Max isn't available in the UK, and so to watch Raised by Wolves, I simply switch my location to the US and bingo! You can enjoy more of your favourite shows and movies or discover new ones, all the while staying completely safe online. Click the link below and use the promo code Coleman for 83% off, plus an extra 3 months for free with a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. Thank you once again to Surfshark for supporting this channel, and now, back to the video. From a visual standpoint, it should go without saying that Raised by Wolves looks stunning, but what sticks with you the most is not just the gorgeous landscapes or excellent production design, but how these things are portrayed tonally within the show. Words kind of fail me here, as it's something which is best experienced by the viewer firsthand, but Raised by Wolves is shrouded in a thick layer of eerie atmosphere. Everything just feels slightly off somehow. It has a dreamlike quality, a dream which is always on the verge of turning into a nightmare. The land these colonists have found is spectacular, but also hostile and desolate. There are hints of a once thriving biosphere, perhaps even a previous civilization, wiped out by some unknown disaster. It creates this inescapable feeling of characters always on the verge of danger, as if monsters could be lurking around the next corner or the planet itself could somehow swallow the colony whole. Yet at the same time, the pacing is tempered and the abnormal music creates a kind of meditative calmness. This juxtaposition is also baked into a lot of the production design. We've seen plenty of androids, spaceships, and futuristic soldiers before in sci-fi, but everything in Raised by Wolves has some kind of extra twist to it. The androids are lifted right out of the Alien universe with milky white blood and internal machinery arranged like organs, but it's their outbursts of strange animal-like behaviour and uncanny valley speaking patterns which can make them appear very human one moment and totally alien the next. Then there's the Mithraic, the religious order attempting to colonize the same planet, appearing like special forces troops made up to look like Crusader knights. Everything is just that little bit stranger, making familiar sci-fi concepts feel truly fresh and original again. The peculiar tone of the series is also what makes those small moments of human emotion and drama all the more precious and compelling, though it's ironic how many of those moments come from the android characters. As I said, both actors playing the parents are great with their off-kilter line delivery, but I think most people would agree the standout performance is Amanda Collin as Mother.
Sit still, or I will hurt you badly.
Her performance pretty much encapsulates the incongruity of the show's setting and tone. She is all at once spine-chillingly creepy, fanatically compassionate, horrifically powerful, and heartbreakingly sympathetic. It is an incredible piece of acting which, as far as I'm concerned, should make Collin a shoo-in for Emmys and Golden Globes galore. That's not to diminish Abu Bakr Salim's excellent work as father, though. Similarly, his behaviour seems almost human, but the small affectations in his voice and movement still echo that uncanny valley screen presence Amanda Collin brings to Mother. Though in some ways, Father is the more relatable of the two, less fundamental in his beliefs and more reasonable, with some top-notch dad jokes.
I fashioned a new joke. When is a door not a door? When it is ajar.
Yet he also displays an emotional vulnerability which he keeps hidden behind his programmed duties. While the two androids often steal the show, those they're raising aren't without merit either. With child actors it can be a bit of a roll of the dice, but the younger performers in this series do a terrific job with some very challenging material. Campion, Tempest, Hunter and Paul are the ones who get the most screen time, and for good reason. They aren't just there to be stupid and precipitate peril, instead they're fully rounded characters with their own unique backstories, objectives and flaws. That may sound pretty basic, but it's remarkable how many shows and movies get this wrong. Then there are the Mithraic adult characters. I'm trying to stay light on spoilers here, so for this segment I'll simply say there is often more than meets the eye with this bunch. But what I continue to appreciate is how neither side of this apocalyptic war is portrayed as wholly good or bad. Cards on the table here, I'm personally an atheist myself, and so naturally found myself gravitating towards the atheist perspective in this conflict. However, the Mithraic are not automatically the villains of the story. While its true religion has often been used as an excuse for atrocities and wars, as is portrayed in Raised by Wolves, the atheist side did also use child soldiers and suicide bombers, so their record isn't exactly squeaky clean either. But this is what crystallizes the themes of the story. This isn't a story about atheism versus religion, but rather it's a story about human beings trying to understand an ambiguous universe and lives filled with so much needless pain and loss. The Mithraic believe they have the answer in their religion, while the atheists believe they have found it in their pursuit of science and technology. It's the fanaticism in these belief systems which creates conflict and suffering. Unquestioned belief in an unseen deity is used by a few to leverage power over others and commit monstrous acts in the name of righteousness. But the atheists can be just as inflexible, with mother and father essentially dictating to their children what they can and can't believe, chastising Campion, for example, when he's caught praying. But the truth is, they too are ignorant of the mysterious forces at work on this planet. While they can attempt to investigate and try to understand, their efforts don't yield a lot of answers most of the time. While the Mithraic are deceiving their followers in a way by making out they know exactly what's happening on this world, the androids themselves are also guilty of deception. Made up stories about how this world works so the children will behave a certain way. While these stories are created ostensibly to keep the children safe, the concept is only a stone's throw away from what the Mithraic leaders do. But it's this ambiguity, the mystery of the planet, the not knowing, which is central to exploring the themes of the show. Now, to be clear, this doesn't mean random shit just happens in the series without explanation. There are definitely setups with payoffs, and it's obvious the writers have a grander plan for where things are going, but leaving a lot of the details a mystery is what contributes to that dreamlike feel and that uniqueness. The symbolism, the concepts being presented, the characters trying to interpret the truth, it makes the series all the more compelling. I won't spoil the finale here, as I'd invite you to watch it yourself, but I feel like some viewers definitely missed the point in a way. I know that makes me sound like a snob, but this is a series which is dense with themes and is almost beating the audience over the head, asking viewers to interpret what they're seeing on not an entirely literal level. And if you're someone who wants media to really engage your mind as well as your heart while also stimulating your senses with expertly crafted filmmaking, then Raised by Wolves is the perfect show for you. It's difficult to fully discuss this series without giving a bunch of stuff away, but I hope I've sold some of you on watching it. In my opinion, it's one of the most ferociously original science fiction TV shows in recent years. We have Star Trek for the colourful outer space action adventure, we have The Expanse for a gritty space opera, and now we have Raised by Wolves for something weird and strange and absolutely engrossing. Season 2 premieres at the start of next month, so there's plenty of time to binge Season 1 so that you're up to date. I really want to see where it's all going, so the more people watching, the better. Once again, thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video, as using their services can allow you to watch Raised by Wolves on its native HBO Max, no matter where you are in the world. Thank you for watching. If you like these videos, subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay up to date on my new uploads. If you want to help the channel grow, join my patrons or my YouTube members, where you can see videos early as well as some other exclusive content. Speaking of which, I'd like to quickly thank all of my patrons and members who are now appearing on screen. Have a good one, and as always, live long and prosper.